Kids will tell me all the time, like, I'm really enjoying physics. Because everybody has something that they can add to it. It's not overly abstract. People can share an observation of how their body moved on the train, or they can relate it to something that we just learned.
She makes it approachable, accessible for students, and part of that is she has a modeling approach.
So instead of plastic on the ground, what is the surface that's on the ground here? It turns out that several summers ago, I took a modeling workshop, and prior to that, I would maybe ask kids to draw the forces on a falling basketball and then be exasperated that they still thought the hand was pushing the ball when it wasn't touching. And then I went to this workshop and we started making flip books of the ball at different states in time. And then that taught me to introduce the kids to what page in the flip book are you at? So in that state in time, what are the objects that are interacting with the basketball? And then we moved from there to create the model. We're building a way to describe a phenomenon that we see. Having like a visual representation of how things interact. And if we know how things interact from our model, we can now make predictions. It's really been a big change in my teaching since I started doing that. Because now there's 4 different steps of things that are visual and teach kids how to think to get to the end point.
She's very attentive to who's understanding it, and very persistent about finding ways, if there is a group of students who didn't understand it, very persistent about presenting it in a different way. Especially with the virtual learning, that was really tough, moving physics to a remote experience. And her experimentation with some of the platforms, the online platforms, she was an early adopter, an early explorer of some of these platforms. Teachers had to sort of go from 0 to 60 in a week in getting up to speed. She was a central person in, here's how you do this. Here's how you can do this in Nearpod. Here's how she would figure something out, and then she would sort of put out guides to the rest of the faculty.
All right, ready? Elevator starting. I did a program at Columbia a few summers ago in biomedical engineering, where it was a summer internship for high school students, and they were making medical devices to work in difficult climates or no electricity situations. So it really grabbed the students, and I tried to recreate it here, where we made devices to aid the disabled.
The journey of this capstone course has been, a process of inspiration rooted in how do I impact my own world and how do I improve it.
A more local problem was that our cafeteria, which is now being remodeled, when I had cafeteria duty, I could not believe how loud it was in there. And the students found it very unpleasant for the same reason. And so one of the project students took on was, how can we dampen the decibel level in the cafeteria? And when they did their measurements, it was beyond the recommended level of loudness. So we made these panels, and we did measurements on how much they can absorb to make it more pleasant. And we also had the art students decorate them.
We see science as a subject where you can care about people, and I think she really exemplifies that. She cares about her students, and I think that they see her as a model, and they see her as a mentor.